Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, January 9. The government intends to spend an additional $11.45 billion for the 2018-2019 fiscal year, which ends on March 31. Spending is proposed to be increased from $791.11 to $802.56 billion. The figure was revealed in the second supplementary estimates tabled by Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, at Tuesday's sitting of the lower house. Members of the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee are to deliberate on the estimates on January 10, after which it will go before the lower house on January 15. Recurrent or housekeeping expenses have moved from $572.46 billion to $582.5 billion. Development or capital spending will move by $1.36 billion from $218.64 to $220 billion. Road maintenance and structures will account for the lion's share of the increase. The funds will go towards drain cleaning, road patching and repairs, as well as other road-related works associated with rain events. Public bodies such as the Jamaica Urban Transit Company Limited and the Montego Bay Metro Company Limited received money to meet operating expenses. The National Health Fund has been allocated $1 billion for reduction in receivables owed by the Ministry of Health. The National Water Commission has been provided $710.6 million to settle amounts owed by ministries, departments and agencies of government, while the Spectrum Management Authority is seeking $325 million for repayment from the sale of license. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the state will continue to use all the resources at its disposal to drive down crime, even as the states of public emergency SOPs in several sections of the island have lapsed. The House of Representatives on December 11 voted not to extend the SOPs in St. Catherine North, St. James and specified areas in Kingston. Giving an update in Parliament Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the SOPs and the zones of special operations had resulted in 21.9% less murders and 22.3% less shootings in 2018 than in 2017. Mr. Holness said the enhanced security measures could also be credited for the 20 murders recorded as at January 7, when compared to 45 in the previous year. Mr. Holness said 20 murders were recorded as at January 7 when compared to 45 in the previous year. In St. Catherine North, murders decreased by 28.5% and shootings by 40.9% in 2018 when compared to 2017. Similar results were achieved in St. James, with murders declining by 70% and shootings by 58.6% in comparison to 2017.
Mr. Speaker, with the resources at our disposal, we will continue to focus on containing the gangs, maintaining presence as best as possible in order to reassure the public, using all the powers available under the JCF Act to ensure the maximum level of security possible for our citizens. We have been doing so by using curfews and cordons and other methods at our disposal.
Mr. Holness said enhancing the capacity of the criminal justice and law enforcement systems would also be prioritized.
The government is well advanced in executing Plan Secure Jamaica, which will see the reduction of murders to below the regional average of 16 per 100,000, which would mean having a total number of murders under 500. And we are committed to having this within the next decade. This will take time, and the development of the unity of purpose within the Parliament and the whole of government and the entire country around crime management strategies and methods. I am committed, Mr. Speaker, to ensuring that there is national unity.
In the meantime, the government and parliamentary opposition will on January 16 hold talks with stakeholder groups to advance national consensus on crime. The meeting with private sector, the churches, human rights and civil society groups follows Monday's discussions between Prime Minister Andrew Holness and opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips and their respective teams. Those talks centered on issues of national security and crime management, as well as the desire to have a national consensus on the matters. Issues discussed included human rights, possible legislative amendments to enhance crime management, financial, technical, and human resources to improve the capacity of the security forces. Government and opposition legal teams will also meet to discuss and agree, where possible, on the crime control powers to be utilized in the existing legislative framework or new legislation. In an effort to safeguard Jamaica's energy security, the state will be using legislative action to retake ownership of the 49% shares in Petrojam. The shares are held by the Venezuelan state-owned oil and natural gas company PDV Caribe. At a press conference Tuesday, Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith said relevant legislation would be taken to Parliament to facilitate the reacquisition of the shares.
What is therefore proposed is a new bill, a new law, which specifically addresses the purchase of this, or rather ownership of the 49% shareholding in Petrojam. It will not be a general piece of legislation which allows for acquisition of property rights other than land beyond the scope of the specific purchase or transfer of ownership of the 49% shares in Petrojam, currently held by PDV Caribe.
Petrojam shares were sold in August 2006 and February 2007. The agreement included the upgrade and expansion of the country's oil refinery. This was to improve its competitiveness as well as to meet local and international market demands. However, Minister Johnson-Smith says these specific objectives have not been met despite Jamaica's attempts at trying to resolve the matter. She says dialogue included a high-level government meeting between Jamaica and Venezuela and a commitment given by the South American country to facilitate the upgrades within 3 months and financial provisions made by Jamaica.
Our decisions regarding our efforts to ensure the viability of Petrojam have not been and are not political. They are purely economic. But it has become clear that the previously shared interest in and prioritization of Jamaica's energy security, which drove PCJ and PDV Caribe to agree to operate and upgrade Petrojam together, no longer exists.
And finally, international security expert Dr. Peter Tarlow has assessed the country's tourism sector as being transparent with respect to producing a safe and secure destination for visitors. Dr. Tarlow, whose experience in security management includes working with governments in Brazil, the United States of America, and Mexico, is currently on the island at the request of the Tourism Ministry. In recent months, Destination Jamaica has come under scrutiny by the international media with reports of sexual assaults by tourism workers against visitors. Dr. Tarlow says in his estimation there is no cover-up with regards to safety breaches.
What really impresses me about Jamaica in this very short period of time is the desire to cooperate and to collaborate between various sectors of the industry. People have been incredibly open. I would say this is one of the most transparent countries I've been in, and I'm in a different country every week.
The noted security expert was speaking yesterday at a press conference called by Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett to provide an update on the tourism security audit. The review is being conducted on 16 tourism properties across the country to develop a safety and security manual for the industry. It is expected to be completed by June 2019. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.